The strikes have stopped, at least for now. Trump has ordered a 5-day pause on hitting Iran's power grid, calling it diplomacy. Tehran is calling it something else entirely: deterrence. No confirmed talks, no agreed channel, and a strait that Iran says will never return to what it was. The clock is running, and nobody agrees on what happens when it stops. A sudden and fragile pause in one of the most dangerous flashpoints in the Middle East. After days of escalating threats, US President Donald Trump has announced a temporary halt to strikes on Iran's energy infrastructure. On March 23rd, Trump announced that the United States will refrain from targeting Iranian power plants for 5 days, extending the earlier ultimatum over the Strait of Hormuz. The decision followed what Trump described as productive conversations, though details remain unclear.
I have instructed the Department of War to postpone any and all military strikes against Iranian power plants and energy infrastructure for a 5-day period.
The pause comes after intense warnings from Tehran. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps had made it clear that any strike on its energy grid would trigger retaliation against power and desalination facilities across the region, including in Israel and Gulf countries hosting US bases. Iran is now projecting the development as a strategic outcome of its firm posture. The Iranian embassy in Kabul has claimed that Washington stepped back after Tehran's warnings, framing it as a case of deterrence in action. But Tehran is not buying the narrative of diplomacy. Iran's foreign ministry, cited by Mehr news agency, has pushed back sharply on the framing of Trump's announcement, saying his remarks are designed to bring down energy prices and buy time for his broader military plans. The statement suggests Iran sees the pause not as a genuine olive branch, but as a tactical maneuver driven by economic and strategic calculations. On the question of negotiations, Iran's position is equally firm. The Foreign Ministry acknowledged that there are initiatives underway to reduce tensions, but said the United States must be the one to initiate dialogue because, as Tehran insists, it did not start this war. At the same time, conflicting signals are emerging from within Iran. The Fars news agency, citing a source, says there have been no direct communications with the United States, nor any indirect negotiations through intermediaries, raising serious doubts over the nature of the talks referenced by Washington. Meanwhile, fresh statements carried by Tasnim news agency make clear that Iran is not standing down militarily. An Iranian source said that Iran will continue to respond and broadly defend its territory. On the Strait of Hormuz, the warning was equally blunt.
The Strait of Hormuz will not return to pre-war conditions as long as the psychological warfare continues.
Shipping traffic through the strait has already dropped sharply, and Iran has warned it could escalate further, including disrupting maritime routes across the Gulf. Despite the temporary pause, Trump's own caveat underscores the uncertainty ahead. The suspension is conditional and could be reversed at short notice. For now, the 5-day window offers a narrow opportunity to de-escalate. But with competing narratives, no confirmed diplomatic channel, and Iran openly questioning Washington's motives, the risk of miscalculation remains dangerously high. Tensions in the Middle East are escalating sharply, as Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps issued one of its most direct warnings yet to the United States and its regional allies. In a strongly worded statement, the IRGC rejected claims from Washington that it plans to target desalination facilities across the Gulf. Instead, it framed its posture as defensive, warning that any attack on Iran's critical infrastructure would be met with a proportional response. the IRGC accused the United States of initiating the current escalation, alleging that American strikes have already hit civilian infrastructure, including water supply systems and facilities on Keshem Island. It denied targeting such sites itself, but made clear that its restraint has limits.
Whoever attacks us, then we will attack them in the same way that they attacked us. You hit our hospital, we did not do such a thing. You hit our relief centers, we did not do such a thing. You hit our schools, we did not do such a thing. But if you hit the electricity, we will hit the electricity.
At the core of this warning is a clear doctrine. Iran says any strike on its power grid will trigger retaliation against energy infrastructure across the region. That includes facilities in Israel and in countries supplying electricity to US military bases, as well as economic and industrial assets linked to American interests.
If there is an attack on power plants, Iran will retaliate by targeting the power plants of the occupying regime and the power plants of the regional countries that supply electricity to US bases, as well as the economic, industrial, and energy infrastructures in which Americans have shares.
The statement comes amid reports that President Donald Trump issued a 48-hour ultimatum, warning Iran that its power plants would be obliterated if the Strait of Hormuz is not reopened. In response, Iranian officials have signaled a shift in military posture from defensive to offensive. According to emerging claims, Iran has gone further by identifying specific targets. These reportedly include major desalination and power facilities across Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Jordan. Many of these sites are critical to civilian life, providing water and electricity to millions. The implication is stark. Any escalation could directly impact civilian populations across the Gulf, not just military installations. Meanwhile, developments on the ground suggest the situation may already be deteriorating. Reports indicate widespread power outages in Tehran following heavy strikes on energy infrastructure. Footage from multiple locations shows cities plunged into darkness, with fires and damage reported in areas such as Karaj. In Khorramabad, west of the capital, verified video shows residents searching through rubble after an airstrike destroyed at least one residential building. Local reports suggest casualties, including the death of a child, though full details remain unclear. The United States Central Command has also released imagery of a strike on the Qom turbine engine production plant, a facility it says was used to produce components for Iranian drones and aircraft. The before and after images show extensive damage following the attack. As both sides harden their positions, the risk of a wider regional conflict is growing. Iran's message is unambiguous. It will match escalation with escalation.
We are determined to respond to any threat at the same level that deterrence is established, and we will do so. America does not know our capabilities, and will see them on the field.
With the Strait of Hormuz at the center of the crisis and a deadline looming, the next moves from Washington and Tehran could determine whether this confrontation remains contained or spirals into a broader war.